Yeah. Yeah. Hello everyone. So already introduced by Rishika, I am Saksham. And I'm really excited to be a part of this, especially the episode 1. So I'm an intern at Adobe, and before that, I was also a backend developer at a startup. So I have quite experience of corporate as well as startup culture. But in this webinar, not webinar, but the interactive talk session, I want to make one thing crystal clear that this is going to be interactive. So this is not a webinar. This I'm not supposed to grade you or judge you or give marks to you. I myself in third year of college. So I've not even started my fourth year right now. So don't call me sir, right? Don't call me sir. Don't call me senior. Right? Yeah. So you can call me Saksham. Sir. Everyone can call me Saksham. Right?
All right, Saksham. Okay, so should I wait a minute. So would you like to start this off by telling about your journey or you know how you started your journey? We would love to know, all of the students here, and about your college life and everything, as we all are first year, second year here, even in third years. Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding my life, regarding my journey, is one thing that pretty clear, and that's consistency. So everything I have into or I am doing now is what I started off, I guess, 2 years back. So my journey that led me into Adobe and preferably more than Adobe afterwards started 2 years back at MIT, Noida. So at MIT, Noida, when I joined the college, I was kind of sad because I didn't crack J, and I have my friends who are from IITs right now. But there's one thing that despite of me being from tier 3 college, I have cracked Adobe. I have did pretty good. So regarding my journey, I guess that I want this session to be interactive and not a session where I discuss my journey or where I discuss roadmaps. So this
Yep.
session is called No Roadmaps, and that's for a reason. We have all seen people saying follow this, follow that, blah blah. But let's be honest, these paths are often personal. So in this session or in this talk, we will talk about what's right for you and what's not. Right? So yes,
Okay, so to make this interactive, we would also need other people to ask you questions and tell about themselves. So, is anyone up for asking something and telling about themselves, asking real time questions? As Sir said, he wants it to be interactive. Anyone?
you can ask me anything about technical, non-technical, operational, etc. Right? You can also share your personal experiences here.
Yep.
So, myself Parth. I'm from Vijay Bhumi University and I'm pursuing my sorry sir. I'm pursuing my BTech AIML in Vijay Bhumi University and I'm using LinkedIn every day. So I saw many companies are posting regarding intern. Many people post that there are many fake internships like code with the technologies I saw without taking any interview and without knowing about our background. They just send me the offer letter. So, what's your point of view on that?
So Parth, what are internships? First of all, this thing has to be pretty clear to all of us. And what are internships? What is a job? What is corporate, right? So internships are meant to teach you a lesson, right? They are the very first thing when you start your corporate life. So if there is some fake internship going on, or if there are companies like that, I have seen myself that there are companies like that. So you simply ignore that mail. Okay. So that's only thing that is there. Ignore the mail. You don't have to even reply to that company where you have not applied before. Regarding the internships, I would suggest that uh, if you are looking off campus, you can definitely check out other websites like Internshala or the websites that are particularly for internships, right? LinkedIn is more job oriented. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for yeah.
how to know that the particular company is real or fake?
This is a very interesting question. Like, how do I know if uh, Google is real or fake? Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's only about that. If the company's page is if the company's page is looking awesome, or it has a ton of followers, right? That means yes, the company is good. The company is real. Not get confused between startups and companies. There are many startups. There have been many startups where you were not able to get visibility, right? But those are real startups as well.
Right.
Okay? So it's kind of dicey, but it is what it is.
So even I have a question. Like, I am going to be in second year from now, but when I was in first year and I just started college, a lot of people called me regarding internships in which I have to pay them first, and then I don't know, like, if it's credible or
Yeah,
not. So what's your take on that? Is it even
So
real?
I face same issue.
what?
I face same issues. They are asking for 399 rupees
Mm.
and 299 rupees, and
Yeah.
they
So this is a very concerning thing. I have my friends who are participating in that as well. So first of all, this is not an internship. That's called a training.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's not an internship. And if somebody is selling courses or a particular training in name of internships, that is not acceptable. That is not an internship. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So,
Internship is where you have your skills and you are working on something, either a project or something like that.
which is the best, which
we
is
have
best.
some questions on the chat too
Okay.
Yeah.
from Yash Ramesh Suryavanshi. He's asking if you can share about your internship journey, that how you started and how you got this internship like.
Yeah, all right. So regarding my own journey, it is a roller coaster, like I would say. Uh, Firstly, I started with DSA. So if you know our DSA, right? So firstly, I started with DSA, did a lot of questions, and then reality hits. No, DSA is not the perfect solution for me, and that's where I started with development, my development journey. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile, etc., you will find that there are many awesome projects that I did participate in various hackathons, won Pitch Fest, etc. So after this development journey, one thing become more clearer that you have to do DSA. Okay, so again DSA. So it's a combination of both of the skills, DSA as well as development. It's not one of them. Okay. So you can be a developer or an AI enthusiast or maybe working with ML or game development, but you have to know DSA. In big companies, if you are aiming for big companies, you have to know DSA. If you are aiming for startups or if you are aiming for companies who have the interview process behind all the skills, then you don't have to go to DSA. You don't have to learn DSA. So that's all. That's my journey in how did I get an internship. And regarding more into this, I after my development phase, I got an offer letter from a startup called Conatus Bharat, where I was a backend engineer and backend engineer intern, and I architected the backend part for that startup. After that, there was the placement drive at my college, the very first placement drive at my college, and I cleared it, and that was Adobe. So now I am at Adobe and I am automating customer support things. So still, it is a technical part. It's not non-technical role that many of my peers have thought about, but it's a technical role, and my part is to automate the system to develop things like I do the most. Do you have another questions?
Hi, I have a question. So my name is Akshay Yadav, and I'm a student of Karamoor University. I'm also a first year student. So
Yes.
my question is to how do we approach a professional for anything like if we want to join them, like have to a connection with them or want to join them for internship, ask them if there are any opportunities in their companies or startups. So how do we
Okay.
approach them? What's the correct way for approaching?
Okay. So Akshay, this is a good question. First of all, okay. Uh, I would say that it's more about how would you like to get approached by someone. Okay. So imagine you are in Meta and someone asks you for a referral. So would you mind searching for a job based on his skills and then referring to him? Or it would be nice if the person has messaged you the job ID or his resume with it, right? It would be awesome
Yeah,
for
right.
you to, right? So the thing is that you have to send a personalized invite to the HRs or to the talent partners. And with that invite, you also have to mention which job ID and which type of role or compensation or which and your resume. The resume is the most important part. There is only two important part: personalization, resume, and job ID. Okay,
Okay, great.
that's what you have to message.
Okay, thank you.
So someone asked Mohammed Shabir, is doing paid training and internship worth it?
Paid training and internship worth it. Okay. So again, training and internships are both different things. So paid internship is worth it. Definitely it is worth it. And paid trainings. I would say if you are a complete beginner, yes, it is worth it. But if you are already at some level and you want an internship experience, then don't compromise yourself with a training experience. Okay, internship experience and training experience both are way different.
Right. So do you have any presentation to explain to the students or
No, I
any?
don't have because I wanted this to be not boring, right? I
Yeah,
wanted this to be interactive as possible.
right. Yeah. Okay, so apart from the coding and everything, you must have also won some hackathons and pitch fests. So I would love to know. Yes,
Yeah,
Sam.
the same question for me. So, how to prepare for hackathons? Like, sometimes we have to bring our own ideas to hackathons. Sometimes we have to solve the questions given to us. So, what's the like? How do we prepare for ourselves for like for presentations and all?
So your question is, how do I prepare for hackathons and presentations?
Yes, sir.
So you can't do much about a 24-hour hackathon if the problem statement will be stated in the hackathon period, right? But if the problem is already stated, you can somewhat make a MVP around it beforehand and then utilize the duration of the hackathon to improve it, right? But if it's a 24-hour hackathon or 48-hour hackathon where the problem statement will be given only at the start of it, then in those particular hackathons, I would suggest uh, this thing that you have to think, design, and then develop. Okay. So we as developers, we as tech enthusiasts go straight into the developing part, right? We get a problem statement and we think about, okay, let's use JavaScript, let's use Python, let's use TypeScript, right? But it is not, is the problem statement actually desirable, right? If the problem is desirable to be solved. Secondly, if it is viable or feasible, right? That are the most important thing in that has to be in your solution, right? If I'm doing something with ML, but I can replace that with a straight automation, with a straight code, let's say writing emails, right? I can have a SMTP server over here to that can send my mails to HRs, let's say every hour, right? Should I replace that with AI? What would be the benefit, right? So
Yeah.
in the hackathon process, this is a very, very major thing that you have to give importance to the why. Why are we solving this? Why are we doing this? Why are we using Python? Right? Yeah. So this is my approach to hackathons and presentations.
Okay.
Like, how did you won your first hackathon? And what was it about? What was your
Okay.
solution and problem statement was?
Okay. So the hackathon was at MET and it's called Cyber Cup. Hackathon had, I guess, around 120 plus teams with over 600 students participating from all the NCR regions. So we had people from, uh, I don't remember the colleges, but yeah, there were 120 teams in general. So I won in the AI track of it. We built an application using RAG. If you know about RAG, retrieval augmentation generation, it is a it is an idea to build a very specific LLM. Okay, so we used that to determine if there's some system, there's some cloud already, uh, or we can say that there's a company who hosted a project on the cloud. So my project was to determine if the cloud is being vulnerable or not, and we used LLM for this. So we won around, I guess, 10 to 15K and uh, many much. Yeah, this was the first hackathon I had. Later on, I went to a pitch fest and won that as well with the same idea, right? So the that pitch fest was another thing, was another story where I worked on, where I pitched in front of MBA grads, and my pitch was so awesome that yes, the audience was literally going mad in that thing. Yes.
Yes, sir. So, do you have any resume sample to share with the students? If you
Okay, so
wish to go
resume
with it.
samples. Wait a second, I have one.
Right.
There's one sample already on the net. If you search Harvard resume template,
Okay.
so I guess that's sufficient. That is all you have to know about any resume template. Maybe if I can give you that as well. Yes. Yeah, I am searching for it.
Okay.
So you
So
can ask another other questions as well. So I will be
So,
dropping that link in the chat.
sir, I have one important question.
Yeah.
Uh, this question is little bit silly, but it is most important for me. How
No, no.
do you start? How do you start your computer language like Python, Java, etc.? Because when I make myself mentally prepared to learn, so I learn within 2 days. I forgot some basics.
Hmm.
I'm preparing, and in 2 days, I'm forgetting all the basics, and again, I'm
Hmm.
preparing. The same cycle is going on with me. So I'm facing these troubles, and it is means I'm gone with this,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
got
done with
this. Yeah. So Parth, it's one of the problem that even I face till now, right?
it. Okay.
To start on with any language, and yes, I did that in two days, and after a week, I get back to it. Oh, what's Python, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Same
So
thing is.
yeah. So see, we have to deal with this in another way. Why are you learning Python? Why are you learning Python? It will be maybe you have to develop some applications using Django or Fast API, or maybe you have to learn ML in the longer run, right? Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
if it is learning ML, if learning ML is your motive, then you can have a hands-on on Python at first, like you already did. Then go straight into ML. Don't think about revising Python so and so much again. In the end of 6 months, of the 6 months you are preparing for a ML interview, you will already have, let's say, 3 to 4 projects in Python, right?
Right.
At that point, you won't be needing any other revision of the same language. You already know much. So it's not a deal to, revise at the start again and again, right? If you found yourself at that point, then just say, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
Hi, uh,
yeah,
I
Midyuna.
yeah, I'm Mithuna. Actually, I have a doubt. Like, apart from data structures and algorithms, what other skills are important to have? Like, should we focus on building broad skill sets or just aim to gain expertise in one specific area?
Okay, so Miduna, regarding this question, I would say it depends, right? If you are aiming to have mang jobs like Meta, Adobe, Amazon, Facebook, all these guys, if you are aiming for these companies, then you have to prepare for DSA, and DSA should be the main focus for you. Okay, but if you are aiming for companies that are skill set specific, for example, or startups or companies have got funded uh, recently. So in those things, you will need your skill sets more than DSA. Okay, but as an engineer, I would say that you need both of them. It's not about cracking your first job. It's about you having the expertise of uh, building your own self, right? Building your own self as an engineer. So if you are becoming better, if you want to become better as an engineer, if you want to be a better engineer than most of us, you have to work on DSA as well as your own skills. That is one point I will suggest. And Secondly, there is one skill that is being left almost every time. And that is how good are you in communication? So communication skills or soft skills, these are really important.
Hmm.
If you know everything about DSA, if you know everything about development, but if you are not able to communicate, right? What's the point of it?
Yeah. Understood. Thank you. Like I was just so confused. You might be able to build an app or build machine learning models or whatever, but they might not be very skilled at DSA and problem solving. So,
Hmm.
like, why is that? Like, what company needs is if they have what the skills what they have is what company needed, then that is all enough, right? So I just like even I do face it. I can build ML
Mhm.
model or do something, but I'm not very good at problem solving and DSA, so
Mhm.
I wanted to ask about it.
So I myself have solved DSA questions around 400 or let's say 350, but I do believe that I'm weak in DSA. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's something that's common to everyone, right?
Mm.
Nobody has that, or I would say 1 in 100 people have DSA as their super skill. Okay, so
Mm.
don't get sad over it. If you're not good at DSA, you don't have to practice DSA so well that you are first in the world, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you are aiming for companies like Mang, yes, you have to do DSA. You have to do certain level of it. But if you are not aiming for Mang companies, right?
Mm-mm.
So I guess there is also one confusion that Mang pays you well and others don't. This is
Yeah.
not true. This is not
Mm.
true. There are many startups, even let's say if there are only 10 Mang companies, and so there are approximately thousands of startups that pay you the same or more on the basis of your own skills, not DSA. So search for those startups and start building your skills around them if you're not able to solve DSA.
So
So,
there is a related question on the chat as well.
yeah.
Um, Asked by Sid. My question is, when I open LinkedIn now, days I often see people switching to companies and cracking
Hmm.
interns in Mang or Fang. I know everyone is at their own path, but it often makes me doubt my worth and self doubts and low self esteem. How to overcome that imposter syndrome? I know patience is the key, but still. Yep.
So this is one of the questions that I really want to answer. And she said, we are not, we are people, we are humans, right? So obviously, when I open LinkedIn and I see people switching jobs from Google to Meta or let's say another company, another big shot company, then yes, it maybe yes, it will make me doubt myself, make me doubt my worth, or maybe if I have that low self-esteem, etc. But that is not the point, right? That is not the point. LinkedIn is social media. It's a tool of social media. You are supposed to click pictures of your biggest win and publish there, right? You're not looking the you're not looking up to the whole story. If I say I have joined Adobe now, it doesn't mean that it is an overnight success, right? From year one at college, I struggled. I did my best to clear interviews, etc. So it took me 3 years to crack Adobe, right? So likewise, it's all about patience. It's all about consistency and your grit, and that's all. That's all you wanna have. Yeah.
Crazy. So, sir, what did you learn at Adobe? Like, what was unexpected, like in the office? Anything different?
Yeah. So very first thing, food. So I'm a foodie myself, and food at Adobe is amazing, right? And secondly, the people, the professionals, the experience of the corporate life. That is pretty awesome. I've been into startups, and in startups, we have to think the other way. Like we have to build the solution first, and then we have to iterate it over and over, right, after each testing. In companies like Adobe, have to implement design thinking first, right? Before building any solution, before building an automation, or before building a tool that would help in automation, you have to be you have to know the fact that why are we building this, right? Then apply the design thinking principles, like what are the requirements. Okay, so these are the requirements and we have to build this. Okay, and if we build this, oh yes, manager's life will be easy, or let's say support manager's life will be easy, right? So we have to understand the why behind it and then build it accordingly. So this is one of the things that I learned here at Adobe. I knew this from hackathons, but like I said, we all are technical people. We straight dive into solutions without thinking of the whys.
That's nice. I was hooked in for the food part. I also love food. Also, sir, as I am from a tier 4 college myself, so I would love to know some resources from resources for AI ML development. One of my friend also asked. And
Okay.
how do we build connections in like being in the college? No one is like some people are very chill and some people are
Mm.
some people are very mysterious. They do not they gatekeep their resources. So I would love to ask you.
Okay. So regarding the ML resources part, there's a channel on YouTube called Campus X. So if you are able to see that, that is pretty good. That is pretty awesome. So the channel's name is Campus X. Okay. If you are not watching, if you're not into watching tutorials and purely documentations, then you can have Chat GPT or another tool that would write you a roadmap, that would write you not roadmap but particular skills that you have to learn, and then dive into that skills documentation. For example, if for ML you have to learn Python, dive into Python's documentation for learning it, right? Secondly, regarding the networking part, okay, so this is going to be crazy. Colleges are not for networking. Okay, so if you are thinking to build friendships, yes, colleges are a platform to build friends, to have friends, right? But networking and having friendships are not same. For see, networks, the point of having a great network is to be able to get something out of it, right? What's the network if I'm not able to get something out of it,
Exactly.
right? So do you think that your friends at colleges, at any colleges, even in IITs, if I am an IITN, for example, and I have many friends in my colleges, would that help in my career, right? No, it won't. So uh, the solution to this is to build connections in events. If there's a company that's having an event in your college, then do go there. Do meet people. Do ask questions to them, right? Let's say, let's say 5 years from now, I come to a college and so there's someone who have asked me that what's your journey, and afterwards he sent me a connection on LinkedIn. Right? So yes, I would remember him. Yes, that is a thoughtful network that the guy is developing or making, and that's how I make networks also. Okay, so this is my own funda. or logic that you have to uh, build personal connections on
Mm.
networks. Okay, yeah, so this is how you do it.
I have one
I'll
question
remember it.
regarding Adobe only. Before joining Adobe, what was your expectation from that company regarding culture, wealth, growth, etc., etc.? And what is your actual experience? What you feel now, before and after? I need comparison basically.
Okay, so I would say that Adobe is already so famous, so popular company that just write if you just write about things on Google, if you just see on Google that what's the experience in Adobe, you would see that the culture is so great, the people are so nice, professionals are so nice, right? And that is all true. Okay, so that is all true. One thing that I would say that uh, this is different, right? So this is different. That was that I got to know that in the big companies there is no how would I put this? There's no differentiation on the base of skill gaps. Okay, so
Okay,
if I am in the same room as one of the managers and I have an idea, but I don't know how to build it, but I have a great idea and I'm so sure of it, then yes, I do have a say.
right.
Okay, but I don't
Yeah,
think so. This is possible in smaller companies.
right. Of course.
Okay.
Hi, myself Kaushika from third year BTech AADS department. So,
Okay,
what do you think about vibe coding, like using AI for coding? And do you think it will suppress our coding skill and logical thinking?
okay. So vibe coding, yes. So I also do vibe coding. All right, it's not a bad thing to do, guys. If you want quick results or a MVP, or if you are in a hackathon where there is time quantum, right, or there is time limit that you have to build this in this particular time, then yes, go for vibe coding. But if you are building something for your own sake, or let's say for your own skills, then avoid using AI. Okay, that's one point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello Saksham. It's Lohambika here from RBS College of Engineering and Technology from Coimbatore. Nice to meet you here. Yeah,
So
yeah, I think you are already previously answered this question, but in instance, like, what differences have you noticed between working at the startup and at the top MNCs like Adobe? Is it okay to choose a startup over an MNC? What's your perspective on this?
so there is two differences only. All right. So I'm talking about great startups
Yeah,
versus great companies. Okay. So in this comparison, they both will pay you very well. Okay. So there is no comparison in payrolls. Secondly, in startup, you will get to know about the fast shifts, about the shifting culture of technologies. Okay. So if I am in a startup and my competitors launched a V4, launched a new version of their tool, right? So I have that urge to launch mine as well, to work on mine as well, right? But this doesn't happen in big companies, all right? So if you are one of the examples that I can put here is that when Chat GPT launched, I'm sure that most of us know what is Chat GPT. So when Chat GPT launched, uh, I guess it was about 3 to 4 months. Then that Google took to make Gemini, right?
yeah,
So this is how big companies work. But if it was a startup, I can go that it would have been possible in a month or two. So this is one comparison of quickly or changing things or being adaptive. So being in a startup will really make you adaptive. And the second comparison is that being in a top MNC surely gets you recognition. Okay, so let's suppose there's a startup, and the startup got funded of, let's say, $20 million. All right, versus you are working on a Google. You are working in a Google company, and in that company, your compensation is same in the startup as well as in Google. But do you think that you will be more recognizable if you put startup in your LinkedIn bio versus Google versus Adobe? So that is
Definitely, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely it would help. It would help
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's the, I guess that's the only difference. That's the only difference between startups and MNC's culture.
All right.
So I
And
have another question for you. Like, it is based on this resume screening. Like, could you share about your first screening process went? Like, especially the resume screening. Many of us are facing difficulties on that stage. Like, for instance, in our college, we are asked to skip the summary part in the resume, but the people from companies like Atlassians asked to keep the summary part because it affects the ATS score, right? So, like, we
Mhm.
are from the Tier 3 college, as you say, like, so we are not having any on-campus drive as like Adobe or Atlassian, so we need to focus on the off-campus. So just your perspective on this.
This is one of the questions that I don't have answer to. Right, I'm not an HR to tell you this that ATS is going to be this way, but yes, I would say this, but you have to try. You have to try and iterate. So if you are giving the resume to, let's say, 5 companies at the start of the month, and then 5 companies after each week, and you have not gotten reply from any of those companies, that yes, surely you need to work on those resume that you have sent. So I will take my example that there was this time, I guess in December, no, not December, I guess in October last year, where I was searching for internships. This was before I got into Adobe. So in that duration, I was searching for internships through off campus, LinkedIn, Internshala, and all that. So I've applied to more than, I guess, 30 to 40 internships. I've given online assessments of maybe 10 to 15 of them. And I would say that you can compare the ratio. I have applied for 40 and I have been selected in 15 of them, right? Is this a good ratio or a bad ratio?
Yeah, very much a good ratio, but there is a much hard work for applying, right?
So this is a good ratio. And my answer to that question is linked to this thing, that you have to maintain this ratio. There is not a single pair of companies who have the same set of ATS. So if a company's ATS suggests that yes, you are the best candidate for this position, there may be another ATS that would tell you no, you are not even into the stack holding part of it.
Yeah, okay, section.
So it always trust the process of iterations, and that's all.
Yeah, okay. Also, you tried for referrals, like right in your college days. Have you approached them like yeah, through LinkedIn?
So
Yeah,
firstly, I have not tried for referrals till now. Okay,
yeah,
secondly, if I would have, I would definitely go or prefer LinkedIn over writing emails, right?
okay.
Because many professionals have that company's mail with them. For example, I'm working in Adobe. I have a mail ending with @adobe.com.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
most of the, yes, and if you look at HR databases that there, if you know about HR databases, do any of you know about HR databases? No. So this thing that there is a wide list of HR's mail all over the internet, and it is widespread as possible. But the list is useless. Why? Because even if the list has thousands of HRs in it, almost every one of them is ending with the company's mail, not their personal mail. Okay, so if I am getting a referral request on my Adobe mail, I will not even click on that mail for company's policy, right? The company mentions you that don't click on the mail that is outside of your organization. So this is one part. So I would suggest you to go to LinkedIn, start uh, posting on LinkedIn very frequently, and build a network. First of all, building a network is the toughest part of getting a referral. Afterwards, make personal connections with the HRs or the talent recruiters. Okay, like a simple hello message or hi, do you have any positions available? It won't cut off, right? So you have to make a personal connection with them, and afterwards, yes, you will have your referral. So that fine.
Yes, so Long Logambika, any more questions?
I'm sorry, just a network issue here. Yeah, that's it. That's about my questions. And also, you have stated like soft skills are the important one, right? I'm
Can
not sure.
you
Like, yeah,
can you repeat it?
yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you said that soft skills are the mandatory one. Like here are people's like we are comfortable in our own languages, like Tamil or anything southern side languages. When it comes to the soft skill, many of those are lagging. Like they are having a good stuffs in the technical skills, but they are insufficient to deliver in the soft skill. So how can you manage this to develop the soft skills? Any
This
key points
is
to develop?
this is one of the things that where I lack. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't have the best soft skills. I don't consider my soft skills, yeah, 7 on a scale of 10. Okay.
Okay.
So I would say that the only way to build your soft skill is to practice, iterate, and perform. That's all. You don't have to learn English all over again. Okay. You don't have to learn any other language all over again, right? For uh, building your soft skills, you only have to do these three things: practice, iterate, and perform.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me just we can use like many of those are unmute state. Like let me call any persons to unmute themselves to ask questions. Please try to unmute. It's the time to ask questions. If you are messed it, so you are here
Please.
to ask questions, right? So what's the point? You are on mute, please. Any of one?
No one is willing to unmute except Parth, Logambika, and Akshay.
Hi, like I want to ask you, like, what is your daily routine, like study schedule be like?
Okay. So before Adobe, my daily routine was wake up at 7, go to college, and come by 5 in the evening. And after 5, I would call my friends and all that. So have a chit chat. I guess I studied for only 2 to 3 hours per day, but that was consistent. and that is the point. If you are giving 2 to 3 hours, 365 days, that is more than grinding on 7 hours, but someday, someday not, right? So you have to be consistent and just put 2 to 3 hours, and that's all, right? It's not JE, it's not a competitive exam. Okay, the only competition is you and your presentation, right?
Yeah, right. I think
Um,
that is the difference. What, like, I am also doing my third year. I'm
Hmm?
not very consistent. So I guess that is the difference between us. You got placed in Adobe. I'm just trying to get placed.
No, no, you will definitely get a good placement. But the thing is that you have to be consistent. Okay, so try to be consistent, and over weekends, I would say give more time to your own skills. Let's say if you give 2 to 3 hours in a weekday, then try to give at least 5 to 6 hours over weekends. Okay,
Sure, sure.
and don't put pressure on yourself that yes, Saksham is in Adobe. Where am I now? It
Not
doesn't matter.
really. Like, actually, I'm also doing an internship in an Australian company, but like, I used to wake up at 3 a.m. daily and go to college, come back, and it seems very hectic. And I feel like there is no time for me to study in between. So, like, I feel I'm lagging so much other than doing my internship.
Okay, so now the problem is clear, right? So you are doing your own you are doing internship, and that's where you are not getting sufficient time for any other things that you are working on, right? So this is one of the problem that I am facing right now, right? It's
Mm,
just it's fine. It's just as fine. It doesn't matter if you are late by, let's say, 4 weeks or 8 weeks, right? But to maintain your consistency, to maintain something, try this, that over the weekends when you don't have your college and the internship, try to give your best over those weekends. Okay, so if you're not putting 2 to 3 hours daily, that's perfectly fine, but try to give 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday. Okay.
mm,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So
So
when
I
you say
just have
I,
another.
so when you say I wake up at 5 6 a.m., I was like, कैसे manage कर लेते?
I
Like,
sleep at 5 6 a.m.
yeah, I sleep. Same. I sleep at 5 6 a.m. Wake up at 3 p.m. and do my whole work. The same routine goes. मतलब सब
In
थ्री सिक्सटी
fact,
फाइव
I
डेज
am
में
I
max.
am the same as you. It's just that my college has that 75% of attendance criteria. Okay,
मेरा भी
or
है
else
बट
I get devoured.
In
मेरा
my,
भी है सर बट मैं
I,
मैनेज कर लेता हूँ.
so like, even I got debarred in maths this semester, but it's okay to, like, I like some people who even had low attendance than me got like got the clearance of their debard, but not me. And initially I got debard in two subjects, which was DSA and maths, but then DSA got cleared somehow, and then I gave the exam, but maths is still left, so I'll give exam in July.
All the best. Okay, and it doesn't matter in the longer run. You have
Yeah,
your
but
like.
to my classmates, it did matter because they made me feel like an outcast, like I've done a crime or something, which was so funny. But all right, they're just kids.
It doesn't matter in longer run. Like if you are like, I'm realizing it now that college doesn't matter, right? So neither do that D bars or वगैरह वगैरह. Just that don't get a year back.
Yeah,
That's what.
that's too bad. I managed to get decent SGPAs and till now, but like studying isn't a problem, but maintaining the attendance is. Like I
Mhm.
really don't feel like attending classes, but I study at the end moment very probably properly. So I manage it like that.
Regarding attendance, in my college, how do they grade us is that if you are 75% or to 80% in your attendance, then you will have 1 marks. 80 to 85, 2 marks. 85 to 83, 85 to 93 marks, and so on. So if you are below 75, congratulations, you get a back. Okay. So this is why I wake up at 6 and go to college every day. So, yeah.
Put
Right.
proxy. I always put proxy attendance.
Proxy doesn't work in my college.
It doesn't
I
work in
can't
my either.
I can't trust no one to do the proxy. Everyone, like no one doesn't care.
Yeah. Sir, I have again one most important question.
Huh?
Like Rishika mentioned about CGPA and all. Sir, if you are going for an interview in any company, do they look about our CGPA and all, how we scored in our first, second, third, fourth year?
Okay, so in short, maybe, maybe not. Okay. If you have mentioned it in your resume, obviously they will have a look at that. But if your CGPA is below 7 or 7.5, I would suggest leave that part. It doesn't matter to a company if you are, as long as you are passing in your BTech or BSc or BCA, right? It doesn't matter to the company if it's 6, 6.5, or 7 or 7.5. Right? If there are some companies that explicitly ask students for their CGPA, and if they do only then mention that.
Right, right. Yeah.
Like
Understood.
then portfolio doesn't matter them like to them. Mark
Portfolio matters. Portfolio
mm,
matters. Your open source contributions may matter if you are going for a developer role or a technical role. Yes, it matters. So, in the Adobe Drive that happened in my college, there was 500 of the students that applied, and only 6 of them got selected. And so you can see that the competition was so fierce. All right. In colleges, what happens is that the resumes are almost identical. Okay. So you have to do something else than those 9 persons or those 10 persons that will make you stand out. Okay. So my resume was one of the resume that uh, the HRs, uh, you know, they simply asked me to not have my resume back, and then yeah, they took away that as well. So I was the first one, I guess, first one or the one of the first who got selected at Adobe in that placement. And I recently got to know about that from one of the HRs.
so is there any new opening in Adobe for students to intern? Like you can let us know here who are like capable.
So I would say that most of the Adobe working is that they hire most of the people from insights, from the
Oh,
internals. That's why you are not able to see many job posting of Adobe, right? You are able to see Google Net 2025 में निकाला, ठीक है, but you are not able to see Adobe's or GitLab, if you know about GitLab, okay, or GitHub, or even
mm,
LinkedIn, right? So these are some companies that hires internally.
okay.
Yeah.
Guys, any of you facing any difficulties on unmuting, please post your questions in the chat because somehow your questions need to be cleared, right? That's what they got the hype series. Please try to take your answers with you. So
Yep.
please post your questions on the chat instead.
I just
Uh,
have another one question. How did
sure.
you overcome your nervousness in HR round? Like, I attended an interview for ML engineer role, I have cleared all the rounds and I lagged in my HR round, which is final round. Due to my nervousness, I lost that job offer. So, how did you overcome your nervousness?
So let's take a step back to the previous question. I guess I answered it that you have to practice, iterate, and perform. Okay. So if you are being nervous in a HR round or some other round where there is one-on-one conversation or one-to-many conversation, then the only thing that you should work on is your soft skills. Okay, so I would suggest you to work on your soft skills and like try talking to 10 people or 20 people in English or whatever the language that you are comfortable with. No, that are your the language that you are not comfortable in. Okay, so I'm not comfortable in English as much as I am comfortable in Hindi. So I will try speaking English to 20 of let's say my peers, right? And see where I am and try to iterate that, try to further enhance that. Right. So that is the point. Work on your soft skills for clearing HR.
So, my language isn't the barrier there. Talking to a stranger felt uncomfortable for me. So, that's why I got nervous.
Okay, so uh, try to talk to more strangers, right? Like you can you went to grocery shopping today, right? You have already seen many strangers. Try
Yeah.
to talk to them. Try to have a casual chit chat with them, right? So in HR rounds now, you have to talk like you are a friend to the HR, but in a professional way. Okay,
Okay.
so that is
Okay.
the point.
Okay. Thank you.
Worries.
Sir, I have a request or a question, whatever you may feel it is. So actually, I am doing BTech, but I am a lost case. I have a interest in a lot of things, and I'm still finding out my passion. And in this summer break, I'm gonna learn UI UX designing and even
Okay.
video editing from some of the Adobe tools. So, uh, do I get an offer or you know something like some perks?
See, Rishika, I'm just an intern at Adobe.
But but
Okay, so yeah.
but also I had one question. Does Adobe only hire people for the coding part or like people who are also like it makes tool for people who are into designing
Mhm.
and creative
No, no.
creativity?
So that is, I would say that is partial. So
Okay.
Adobe has three clouds. Three clouds mean three categories of products. So one is Creative Cloud. So the one you are talking about is
Mhm.
the products of the Creative Cloud, like Firefly, Photoshop, right?
After
Yes, none of
Effects.
them. The second is Document Cloud. Document Cloud is where the Adobe Acrobat, Adobe Sign, these products are. And the third is Adobe Experience. So Experience products are almost B2B. Okay. So, and I am in that Experience Club. So that's where the most unheard stories about Adobe is. I won't talk about the clients or the businesses that Adobe has, but yeah, those are actually very huge customers, and we are using them on a daily basis. So I would say that this is this is Adobe for you. And then regarding your question, uh, you can definitely go for UI UX or video editing. Nowadays, these are the skills that gets you to some point where you are showcasing yourself to the public, right? So if I am a software developer, I cannot do anything else except code. Almost every software developer cannot do anything else except code, right? But if you are a person who is able to communicate, or a person who is able to design or put your creative thinking into something, then yes, anything creative, the world is bright for you. So that is what it should be.
Okay. So I have another question.
Yeah.
In our college, every semester we learn another coding language. Like in first semester we learn some basics about Python, and in second we learn some basics about like its concept of C++. And in third semester we will be learning about some JavaScript and all.
Akshay, can you
So
repeat the question? Actually, the voice is too much unstable.
okay, sir. So I was saying that, like in my college, we have done many different languages in every semester. For the first semester, we have done Python. For second,
Mhm.
I have done like C++, and for third, we will be doing JavaScript. So, is
Mhm.
it necessary to have many languages in your skill set, or just few languages?
No,
Like,
no. You have to be good in one language, and that's all. Okay, that's all. But that doesn't matter that you are learning Ruby or you are learning C. C. Okay. So why? The question should be why I'm learning C, and why I'm learning JavaScript or Python, and why not C. Okay. So the answer to this question is that C is outdated. Is C outdated? No, C is not outdated, but most of the freshers are working in newer technologies like Java, C++, or Python, or JavaScript, or TypeScript, right? Or Golang, or Rust, right? So these
yeah,
are
and
some
there's
of the
also
new
C sharp.
technologies, yeah, that you should preferably go for. Okay, ignore those college and those college SEM courses. You just have to
Yeah,
learn enough to.
basically, I was so confused. Like, first we were have to like do Python, and then we went straight to C++ without further advancing in Python.
That is the wrong approach, na?
That
Right?
is what college approaches. They teach you a
Mm.
lot of languages in the semesters, and they don't like make you excel in one of them. So we are on our own. We have to choose for ourselves.
I would say that even if you are doing BTech, uh, and your expertise lies in some non-technical fields, go for it. It doesn't matter. देखो tier 3 tier 4 colleges की तो placement वैसे नहीं है ना.
Exactly.
Yes, if you are aiming for something non-technical and you are going off campus, yes, you should.
Sure. Adela has asked one question. What should be the basis of choosing a technology as a career path? Also, like many times we can't find an internship job in our preferred tech stack. So should we opt in for an internship in any other tech stack available?
Okay, so I would say that you have to keep two things in mind. Okay, if you are having enough time, for example, you have just started your first year. There is still 4 year ahead of you, or there's still 3 year ahead of you. At that particular point of time, yes, you can opt for anything that you like. Okay, you don't have to see that if the job society or the professional world has impact over that skill. Okay, for example, when I started college, Golang was not so popular. Okay, was not so popular that India doesn't had even 5 jobs at that time that comprises of Golang. But now, if you look at Golang, you go over LinkedIn and search Golang jobs for interns or for freshers, you will get a heck a lot of them than 5. So the answer should be two things. If you have enough time, and if you are going very specific, then go for it. The other thing is, if you don't have much time and you have to start with something, right? Where most of us are, that we have to start our professional career. We have to start, then we will see what can we do later on, right? So if you are at that stage, then preferably go with the market trends. Okay, because these trends are that these are changing rapidly. After GPT, there is this AI hype, and now there is robotic and AI hype, and in some years there will be quantum hype. So the hype is already there, right?
Yep.
Hi Saksham, I have a doubt.
Yes.
How to crack the college placement drive because of most of companies are conducting aptitude as a first round. So most of students are good at programming knowledge, even though they are not.
Nitish, your voice is unclear. Can you repeat the question?
Too, it's a heavy rain in our state, so they're finding there's some difficulties to speak properly.
Also, in 2 minutes, the meeting will be ending. So we will need to wrap it up here.
Yeah, just
Nitish,
Nitish
you
Kumar.
can, if you have the doubt, you can, reach out to me over LinkedIn. I would happy to answer all of your questions over there.
Yeah, last question from Nitish Kumar. Just ask it.
I have a doubt. How to crack the college placement drive because of most of companies are conducting aptitude as the first round.
Okay,
Even though some students are good at the programming knowledge, even though not at all to crack the first round, then only to attend the second round. No, what's the
so I would say that many of the companies in placement drives, yes, they have that aptitude round as the first one, or they have the OA round, the online assessment round, then the aptitude round, then the technical rounds, and then the HR round, right? So in short, you have to study all of them if you are aiming for on-campus placement. Yes, you have to, but if you are aiming for off-campus, you can skip that aptitude part.
yeah? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So the meeting is gonna end, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in and
Thank you. Thank you,
having us
everyone.
on.
Thank
Please
you, sir.
connect on me with LinkedIn.
Yes, sir. I'll
It
send you
was
the connection.
Yeah, me too.
okay, guys. I
Thank
would
you, Saksham.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
Bye bye, sir.
If you have any
Bye,
further
sir.
doubts, any inquiry, anything, please reach out to me over LinkedIn. Okay, I would
Yeah,
definitely get back to you.
sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
sure,
sure.
Saksham.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.